Welcome to Infused Eats. It's Matt, your host here, and today's recipe is a special Valentine's Day inspired recipe. It's Cannabis red velvet cookies with marijuana infused cream cheese icing. And just a quick reminder to let you know that we're switching our cooking show to its own channel called Infused Eats. So you could click over here if you'd like to go ahead and subscribe to Infused Eats, so that when we start releasing videos on that channel very soon, you'll be ready for them. I'd also like to invite you that if you'd like to get the quantities and a written version of this recipe in a nice digital format that you can use on a tablet or a phone in the kitchen with built-in timers and stuff like that, head on over to infusedeats.com and you'll be able to sign up there and follow along more closely with this recipe. Although of course you're not going to need it to enjoy the recipe as it is, so let's get started. The first step is going to be to decarb or infuse the marijuana into the butter. To begin, cube all of the butter and then in a medium saucepan with a thick bottom, bring it up to heat on medium-low heat. As the butter heats, you'll notice a white milk fat that will rise to the top of the butter. Using a spoon, carefully and also patiently remove all of that milk fat. It may take a few minutes for all of the milk fat to render out, but keep it on medium-low heat because we do not want to scorch or brown our butter. Once you removed all of the milk fat, you'll notice that it starts to coagulate and get a little thicker. And we want to remove as much as we can, but we're not going to be able to remove 100% of it because it'll keep rendering out. So now we're going to add in all of our ground marijuana. We're going to add that directly into our butter that's going to remain on a medium-low heat. You can use a candy thermometer if you like and make sure that you don't get the marijuana and the butter above 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Now for the next 25 or 30 minutes, we're going to let that simmer at the very lowest heat, making sure that we do not let the butter brown or darken too heavily. And definitely do not let it smoke. After the infusion is complete and the decarboxylation bubbles have stopped, we're going to now strain the infused marijuana and butter through a fine mesh strainer, and I like to use cheesecloth too to make it a little more refined. It's also easier with a cheesecloth. You can pick it up afterwards and let it cool off, and then you can squeeze out all of the butter. And your butter is going to be ready to use now, except for it needs to cool off, and it'll turn from this dark brown that you see now into a nice rich green once it's cooled off. And you can put that in the refrigerator to help it firm up, but then let it set back out and get to room temperature. The next step is to use the marijuana butter to make our dough. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and grease or butter a 9x13 baking pan. Then in a medium bowl, we can add our flour, our cocoa, our salt, and our baking powder, and then whisk that together. Then we can set that aside. Now we're going to take our room temperature marijuana butter, but only 1 cup of it, and then our sugar, and we're going to use a mixer and cream that together. Cream it for 2 or 3 minutes until it's incorporated together nice and well, and then add in your eggs and keep mixing until it gets a little bit fluffy and nice creamy consistency. Then we're going to add in our vanilla and our food coloring. This is a red velvet cake, so we're using a whole bottle of red food coloring. And then when you realize that your pan is too small and you're making a mess, you can put that into a larger mixing bowl, or you could just start with a larger mixing bowl to begin with. And now we've got our wet mixture ready to go, and we add in our dry mixture, being careful not to slosh it out too much. And then we're going to work that together with a metal spoon or a stiff utensil, like I'm using a rubber spatula here, until it becomes a thick dough. And then we're going to take our dough into our prepared pan and pat that out by hand until it's even and flat and pressed into all corners. Then put that into your 350 degree preheated oven. You're going to let that cook until it rises and then falls a little bit and then starts to brown and pull away from the edges a little. Once you insert a knife in the middle and it comes out clean, take that out and let it sit aside and completely cool before you ice it. In the meantime, we can go ahead and prepare our frosting. Using our cream cheese and the remaining can of butter, we're going to chop that together. I like to use a knife to get it started chopped and then use a mixer to get it creamy. And it'll soften it up a little bit more with the hand mixer. Then we're going to add in the vanilla. And we're also going to sift in our powdered sugar. And again, you should probably use a bigger bowl than I'm using, but this is a larger recipe than I'm used to, and so I used a too small a bowl, but you probably want to use a large bowl instead of a medium. And then we're going to whip that until our marijuana icing is really smooth and soft and easy to work with. And once your cake is completely, or it's actually more like a cookie, is completely cooled off, we're going to ice it. And it's a real thick icing, so just keep piling it on until you used all the icing, unless you want a little bit left on the spoon to enjoy right away. And then I find it's a lot easier if you put this in the refrigerator for a couple hours and let it firm up before you cut it. You'll get a lot nicer, cleaner cut with the frosting. So I decided to cut this into 16 portions, so I cut it 4 ways and 4 ways again. Or 3 cuts and 3 cuts to make 16 pieces. And these are ready to eat just like they are. But this is a Valentine's episode, so I'm going to pretty it up with a little bit of red sprinkles. But how you decorate it is up to you. Now your red velvet marijuana Valentine cookies are ready to enjoy. So I hope you enjoyed this special Valentine's Day edition of Infused Eats. If you did, please hit the like button. Also, please leave a comment and suggest a recipe that you'd like to see me cook with marijuana in the future. Also, please go ahead and subscribe to Infused Eats if you'd like to be aware of all of our cooking videos in its own channel when those are released soon. Also, please subscribe to Rough House Studios if you haven't already, because we have lots of different cannabis culture shows that you're bound to enjoy, and it's free. Okay, thanks for watching. I know I'm looking forward to trying out some of these treats in the next couple of days with my nearest and dearest, and I hope you do too. Till next time.